All right. Hello, Home Service Pros. Welcome to the Battle Plan Marketing Podcast, episode number 131. Today, we've got a special guest on the show, Al Fagundes of Fagundes Plumbing and Heating out of Tyngsboro, Massachusetts, Northeast Massachusetts, just near the border of New Hampshire. Looks like beautiful country. So without further ado, oh, by the way, 4.8 star rating on Google from nearly 1,000 reviews, 4.7 on Angie's from 150 plus. So they are walking the walk, talking the talk out there, doing good work. So without further ado, welcome to the show, Al.
Hey, thanks for having me, Mark.
Yeah, appreciate you guys coming on. So tell us, what you do, who you do it for, where you do it.
So we're a plumbing, heating, and cooling company out of Tyngsboro, Massachusetts. We relocated a few years back. We're just down the street in another city called Lowell, Massachusetts. A lot larger population. We're talking about 100,000+ people to, just pretty much just driving over a bridge to a population of 12,000 people. But we still service the same community. It's not like our footprint is quite large, 13 to 15 mile radius. So we're able to hit thousands of households. Primarily started out as a plumbing company back in 2003, just myself in a truck, I call myself a truck in a truck, I guess. No lettering, no nothing, kind of flying under the radar. And then decided to kind of grow this in 2011 to where we are now. The size about 30 employees, 7 million.
Nice. Well, you did a lot of work there in the last few years. I've seen the website. Looks like you got a dozen or so fleet vehicles out there. And
yeah,
tell me a little bit of how big you guys are.
So again, we're about 30 employees. We have a mix of about 18 technicians out there between leads and apprentices, both plumbing and on the HVAC side. A couple of field, a couple of home comfort consultants, inside people. We just hired our first GM. That way I could kind of step back a little bit and work on the bigger picture for our next 5-year growth plan. But
Nice.
we have our managers in place, our install manager, service manager, and then we have about three CSRs and a bookkeeper.
Nice. Congrats on the growth, man, and the GM trying to get yourself out of the day-to-day.
The day-to-day, yeah, because the day-to-day kind of bogs me down on the overall picture. I'm really trying to, by hiring that GM, is really trying to get out of that day-to-day and look at the month-to-month. And help the team to grow by working with them individually.
Great. Are you doing it out of the one location, Al, or I see you service, New Hampshire, the southeast side of New Hampshire, I guess. So are you locating up there or looking to expand
we're
up there?
We're that close to the border. I mean, we're literally like 2 miles to the border. We're in New Hampshire. You go 3 miles another way, we're in a different city, we're in a different town in New Hampshire. So we neighbor this border pretty closely. So it's easy for us to know where to help the other way.
Nice. Man, it was beautiful country. I did a job up in Nashua, New Hampshire, in a previous lifetime. And I just remember that being just drop dead beautiful country.
Yeah, some lakeside countryside has to get up into the New Hampshire area.
Yeah, gorgeous. Looks like you got state parks right next to you and stuff. So beautiful country.
Plenty of walking trails, plenty of things to do right where we're at too. So it's a great area to live.
Yeah, year round, right? You got winter sports, you got summer, you got hiking.
We get all 4 seasons. We get our winters. Everybody seems to think it's long, but it's not long compared to other parts of the country. But we really get our 4 seasons there. So
nice. And you're near the coast, so you got beach time and all that stuff too. You get
the coast in about 45 minutes, 40 minutes.
Sweet. What made you move from the larger city to outside of it a little bit?
We needed to grow. We needed space. So, we were in a condo. We were kind of overstretched in a condo area that we had, overhead garage door with the office above. We kind of didn't really outgrow the office per se. We outgrew our space for our technicians. So originally, what ended up happening is I bought the area that we're in now, which was like a 2 acre lot with an older building warehouse on it. We moved our technicians and our service manager first, had them over here for a couple of years, and then when COVID hit, I think just like everybody else, we all found things that we just didn't need anymore, right? So then we just decided to sell the condo building that we had alone, move everybody into a large renovation. And now we're all here in Kingsborough.
Nice. I see on, I think it was on your website or maybe on your Google listing, I saw what looks to me like training centers for, I saw a water heater, a bank of water heaters, looks like a install training center, saw HVAC, I saw furnaces. So talk to me about the expansion of creating your own in-house training center right there.
Yeah, we use that when we're slow. I think a lot of companies panic when they're slow. They're trying to find work and trying to cut hours and send the guys home when they're slow. We take that as a time to retrain and bring guys in and work on units, break units down, break them so they can fix them, take them apart, put them back together. Whatever we can do to try to keep the wheels turning.
Nice. I like that. Yeah, the best companies train in-house and really commit to it. So hats off to you there. I saw the images. I was impressed there. So what kind of, so it looks like you do, HVAC, so heating and air, plumbing. What are your favorite services? What do you guys market for the most and really go after the most?
Yeah, so the biggest part of the company is the installation of HVAC services, installation of equipment, right? From furnaces to boilers to tankless water heaters, mini splits. That's really kind of the front and the butter of the business, and then you have the complementary services that kind of go with that, which would be you have HVAC service, so we're servicing the installations that we've done or other people's installations. We have maintenance plans for our maintenance customers. Then we have our plumbing side. We have really stepped away from anything that's doing kind of new construction. We're 99% home service business. We have a couple of people that we kind of service on the commercial side, and the only reason for that is because we service at home. So they want us to service their businesses. So we do that as just a thank you for being our customer, but we typically are not taking on a new commercial customer.
Nice. Yeah, they just want you you did a great job in the house. So, hey, I own a building also and bring you guys into that side. I like it. Yeah. So of course, product sales, right? So HVAC, big part of it. Furnaces, AC units. How about, I heard about these new water heaters, heat exchangers or something like that. Does that sound familiar? Heat pumps?
Unless you're talking about like the new heat pumps that are starting to come out, they're not really talking about them much, but it's they're talking about technology like it would look like a mini split outdoor unit with a tank on the inside of the house, and you get that type of heat exchanger from it. Hot water solution. It actually is rebatable right now in our state. There's not a lot of companies installing them. There really hasn't been a lot of talk just because we've been doing a lot of heat pump water heaters where the heat pumps are built into the water on top of the water tank, and we're just really using the room air to help generate temperature. So that's been really popular, but the other route hasn't really gained too much traction.
Interesting. Cool beans. So you talked about maintenance agreements, which is a big one for a lot of guys out there and women. I see on the HVAC side, I'm sure that's way more prevalent. Does it carry over into the plumbing side for you? Are you able to get annual service agreements on plumbing?
Not typically. We don't actually have one built where we get customers to call us. It's part of the agreement that we will do plumbing discounts for them because they have a service agreement on your equipment. So it's just basically it's a complimentary, and not complimentary, but it's a complement to that service, to that agreement. So that's what we're using at the time. for now performing.
So if you put in a new tankless or something, there's like an annual descaling or something like that?
Yeah, that we do have a plan for, because that's considered a piece of equipment. But if the same customer had a broken faucet, we go out there at a reduced diagnostic, and they would also get reduced cost for repairs.
Gotcha. What are your favorite kind of jobs to do out there? Or I guess I kind of touched on that a little bit, but do you have a single one or two or three jobs
I
that
think
you
my
just,
favorite type
man, I
of
love
jobs
this?
are, 1-day jobs, really, that are not too cumbersome with too many crews at one place just to get it done in a day. Our favorite jobs, I think, are the ones that we can just send a crew or even a single technician to do. It'll be a tankless water heater or a single one-to-one mini split or a TN mini split. Those are usually my favorite jobs. I think they're nice quick hits.
In and out
Yep.
one day. How about, so I see you guys talk about financing, and I'm sure that plays a big role in the HVAC side also. Um, how big a role is financing playing for you
Financing is
guys?
huge. I mean, if you're not offering financing,
Yeah,
you'd be surprised how many jobs get off frozen because customers just don't want to tell you they can't afford it. So
right.
finding a way to kind of circumvent that and offer the financing without hurting someone's feelings is a big deal. But in our state right now, in the state of Massachusetts, they have a program called Mass A where they run a 0% program for 84 months for qualified
Oh,
pieces of
nice.
equipment. So that means everybody that wants that type of financing needs to put in high-end stuff because it all has to be high-end efficiency.
Nice.
And that drives a lot
Sweet.
of our business.
That's great. With the state.
Coupled with rebates, not only can you get a 0% loan, in this sense, you can get a $10,000 heat pump rebate for your home by converting it from, say, an oil fuel home to all electric heat pumps. And they'll
Wow.
qualify you for a $10,000 rebate. And on top of that, you can get a 0% loan for 12 months.
Man, awesome. That's crazy.
Yeah, driving a lot of business.
Yeah. That's super good stuff right there. What drove you to open the business, Al? What were you working for somebody else and
Of
hey, I
course,
could do it better? Or,
just like everybody else, entrepreneurial seizure, right?
yep.
You think you can do it better than your boss. I was single at the time when I opened it, so it's kind of easy to make that transition. You don't really care about health
Right.
insurance and IRA and all that other stuff. It was more about the money.
Right.
I think it was more about the opportunity to kind of go out and do it on my own. Uh, just like everybody else, I did new construction when I first went out into business just because it was easier, right? Didn't really have a clientele, so I took on new construction because it was easier to stay busy faster, longer, or
Right.
long term. Before '08, I got a little smarter. In 2007, I decided, hey, I'm going to go to the yellow pages. I think I would start to turn on a little bit more service, and it was kind of a blessing in disguise that I did, or I would have got hurt.
Yeah, your timing was near perfect right there.
Yeah.
Because really 05, it started to turn. I don't know, it's different in every location, of course, but didn't really turn until about '08, and then 10 years or whatever of a lot of misery for a lot of people. So yeah, if you're in the new construction, that pretty much dies right there. And if you're not in the service business, you're hurting at that point. What's your favorite part of owning a business so far throughout all these years?
Well, if you think you're going to own a business and you're going to go home and sleep a good night's sleep every day, you get another thing coming. Let's just say that, right? There are
Yes.
experiences and bads because there are weeks that you just want to sell it, and there are months that you love it. So you will have your goods and the bads as long as your goods outweigh your bads. You got to look at your lifestyle. I always tell people, if you're gonna go into business and you're not gonna take time off, why even go into business?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Make a profit.
Yep.
Get paid.
Take
Make a
some time
profit.
off. Be with your
Take some
family.
time.
When you're off, so when you step away on vacation, you're away on vacation. Don't forget that. So
Yeah.
it has given me some luxuries. I won't say that. I'm pissed poor. So it has given me some luxuries. I've made able to bring my family very well, and I'm happy for that.
Yeah, well, you earned it. Building a company is not easy, and you built it well over a short, really 10 years or less, right? So nice work. What's something you wish you knew when you started that of course, that you know now?
There's a lot
What's
of
one of
things,
the
right?
hundreds of things? Yeah,
Hundreds of things. And it always changes just because of how fast the digital world changes. I kind of wish when I first started, I wish I had done some business classes possibly or some accounting classes. I think our first growth to about 3 million or so was by accident in a way, and it kind of just was okay with the numbers. We made money, but I think it was kind of by accident in a way that we made money. As we grew larger, you start to see I'm not making as much money, so now you start diving into financials and start fixing issues. Because you get to a certain point, a certain size, you start to see there's some holes or inefficiencies, and it starts to project itself on you, what you're making, what your income is. So that's like an important thing. And then, as the digital world grew, right, marketing, marketing would have been
right.
another good one. Not to say that I want to be a marketing manager or how to build a Facebook page or a website, but a little bit more depth of the knowledge of it, how it works would have been great. And more towards the end here, I think, knowing how to write code. I just think it's going to be like something that somebody in the future might want to know how to dabble into it. Working
Yeah,
with AI, right? What's anything now? Even I use it every once in a while, chat GPT.
yeah,
I ask chat all the time a couple of questions. What if I do
yeah.
this? What about that? Hey, I'm going to do a social post. Uh, you know, give me a kind of a blurb of this, and I need some hashtags that are kind of relevant. It's kind of like so
Exactly.
much easier.
Yeah, yeah. Good for you, going with the flow. So let's talk about that transition. You're one truck Chuck for a little while,
Mm-hmm.
experiencing success. Who's the first person you brought on? A CSR or tech
Office manager. Yeah.
office
Oh,
manager?
well, yeah. Well, while I was out there, kind of, I did hire, so I had an apprentice. I
Okay.
had several apprentices over the years, and then I actually grew at one point between '03 and '11, where I had about 4 employees besides myself, and I do what everybody else does. I'm just gonna go back to basics, right? So I kind of started
Yeah.
letting everybody go, and you go back to basics. I went back to myself and somebody else, and I did that for a very long time. And then came back 2011, and I was just like, I'm done with this. I'm either gonna go work for somebody, not have the headache, or I'm really gonna have to grow this now and kind of get underneath it. Because you
Nice.
start to think, what if I get hurt? How
Right.
am I gonna live my lifestyle if I get hurt? What am I gonna do? Start thinking about the bigger picture at that point.
That's a really good question for all business owners, right? Because until we have that GM and the thing is running self-sufficiently, we're all of our businesses are in danger. If we get disabled, get sick, whatever happens along the way, lots of possibilities. So take me down that road, Al. How did you get your price book in order? How did you get your CSR training being done? What how'd you cross those bridges?
Well, in 2011, when I decided to grow, I hired a consultant that's local to me. I met him in
Nice.
a BNI chapter. I tell anybody if you're small and trying to grow, that's the best place to grow is in a BNI chapter. Get yourself in a BNI
Yep.
chapter that has at least 25 people in it. Maybe some people that
Right.
are in the same business cluster as you, as electricians, roofers, framers, or whatever, or even like real estate agents. And that will kind of really get your referrals kind of out there. Um, in 2011, I met this consultant, and I actually still work for him till today. He doesn't
Nice.
in depth. He doesn't really work with me in depth, but it's kind of like having a lawyer on retainer in a way. And
Sure.
we have a set amount that we have discussed that I pay him every year, and we just kind of talk about things. I work out issues. If I just have a bad day, we talk about it. If I need help with a certain sector, you'll help me with it. Um, if I'm having a hard time dissecting certain numbers, we'll talk about it, what we can do for changes, strategy. If you want to grow your business, you really need somebody else. As much as you think you can do it on your own, you really need some business coaching or sometimes some life coaching, because a lot of times businesses don't move forward it really because of the owners holding themselves back.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. We're not masters of everything.
Nope.
We're really good at one or two or three things. And then, there's a lot of parts of business that we have no clue about, and pricing is really a big one. Accounting, getting the books squared away. It's a big one for a lot of guys out there. They got their prices are all screwed up, and doesn't matter how much they increase business, they're just racing quicker towards bankruptcy. So that's a super big one right there. How about software systems and things like that? You're using, I'm sure you are,
Yeah.
CRM, House Call Pro, Service Titan, something like that?
We started with QuickBooks. We used QuickBooks as far as it could take us. And then we ended up with our first software, which was ESC. That was probably a good 5 years ago. And then from ESC, just a transition into Field Edge, just because Field Edge owns ESC through the parent company. We transitioned over to Field Edge. We've been working at Field Edge for a while now, a good solid 2 years, closer to 3. It has implementations, but it's been a good software. I always tell people don't change software just because you think the next one is the next latest and greatest. Because half the time you haven't explored the one that you have.
Right.
You haven't figured it out, so you just got frustrated and you go to the next one.
Yeah, super good advice, because they're all going to be frustrating. They're super complicated and do a lot of things. So I'm not familiar with that one. Field Edge CRM, basically?
Yeah, Field Edge CRM.
So it has your price book, your dispatching, all that built in?
Yeah, it has our customer base. It has our dispatching in there. We do jobs out of there. They have acquired another company called HVAC Goods Pro that a lot of home service companies were using for pricing for equipment sales. They have integrated now with Field Edge since they're, again, they're part of the bigger picture. So that's helped out quite a bit. We're using all the software for equipment sales, and we're doing a lot of copy and pasting. So it wouldn't directly just drive down into the system. Now it does. So it's a lot different. Things are getting better.
I see.
It also, it kind of watches your phone calls. As the phone calls come in, and it kind of tracks where your phone calls are coming from. So it does a little bit of tracking on the marketing side. You still got to do a little bit of legwork, but it does a decent job.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. Because you're doing a lot of advertising, right? I saw, you got a lot of reviews on Angie's Home Advisor. Obviously, you're advertising on those platforms.
I don't actually work with those platforms anymore.
Yep.
Those reviews just stay stuck there. I'm not saying that my digital marketing company doesn't have landing ads that are on there, but we don't technically work with them anymore just because cost per lead was just so high. It's ridiculous to work with them. So we decided
lead quality.
A couple of years ago, actually.
Yeah, lead quality. A lot of guys start that way and then transition away. Yeah, lead quality and cost per lead is super bad.
I think it was great back in the day, and I don't know if anybody really knows about them when it was Service Magnet. Service Magnet was out there. Oh, yeah. It was a great lead source, and it's really good. North Box. I made a lot of money with Service Magnet.
Nice. So now your advertising targets are what? Do you do direct mail?
Some direct mail. It's mostly big key focus on LSA, right? HVAC and plumbing. We do short videos. We shoot about 15 self-help videos a month.
Nice.
That way we can put them up as just reels. So we're advertising that way, a lot of Facebook and Instagram. We put reels up on TikTok, stuff like that.
I like it. And it's all educational stuff instead of
for the most
promotion.
part, yeah. Like 75% of it's all educational.
Beautiful. Nice work. Nice work. So you running a YouTube channel also? I
We
didn't get
got
a
a
chance to
YouTube
look.
channel going. Yep.
Nice. And do all the Instagram reels, Facebook, do they link over to
They do.
YouTube or?
Again, it's just another hat that I'm wearing. So yeah, eventually I got to take that hat off and give it to somebody. That way, YouTube is actually full of content. If someone gets kind of full of, it gets content as the other ones trying to get content. So it's slow. Even though we probably have a file of 90 videos or so, it only has a fraction of them up there right now.
Still, that's awesome, man. Yeah, that's great advice for everybody out there. Educational content and short form video is definitely becoming super successful
And
for a
this
lot
one,
of companies.
yeah, sometimes the way that I see it, it could be good and bad for you, right? If you're telling somebody how to replace their filter, that could be a good business practice for you. It could be a bad one. It depends on how you look at it. Some
Yeah.
guys would say
Well,
it's bad because you don't get your foot in the door to change that filter, and that could have led to some other sale. But it also could have bogged you down on us where you went out there and you could have went somewhere else that was more precedent because it was an older system where you could have had a sale. But you got stuck on this 2-year-old system because the filter got changed.
pluses and minuses.
Pluses and minuses of putting the content out there. But guess what? If I don't, somebody else will. So I might as well be at the
Yeah,
front.
yeah, yeah. And people appreciate the helpful content.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the people are not going to DIY. They just want to know that you know.
Yeah.
And they just need to be, so it's all about awareness, right? If people are not aware of your company, there's no way they're calling you, right? So you're making yourself, you're branding yourself and making yourself known out there. So super good stuff. Gary V, right? Gary Vaynerchuk. I don't know if you're familiar, but all about, uh, producing helpful content.
It's funny because
and
I'll go down to the breakfast place, or I'll go down when I do like these group session workouts, and they're like, "Man, all I have to do is click on you once, and you're all over the place on my phone."
Exactly. Yeah, that's real good. That's what you want to hear, right? Yeah, good stuff. So how about like pay per click? You do any Google ads,
I
Yelp
actually
ads?
stopped that a couple of months ago.
Yeah,
Just
Google
looking
ads.
at what we were acquiring, what we were turning over, what we were getting out of it, just wasn't worth the money.
Yeah, cost per lead, cost per acquisition,
Yeah,
actually,
it was
is
super high.
yeah, really. It depends on your market, of course, but yeah, like out here, Southern Cal can be brutal. $200 per, cost to acquire a customer can get pretty
And
brutal.
we were getting so much LSA anyways, LSA and other leads that um, it didn't make sense for us to be spending that type of money on that. So we took that money and we actually put it towards shooting the videos and reels and stuff. Make sure we had a budget for that instead of having the reels and it shooting as an extra budget on top. So we kind of, by taking that, we kind of dialed back and said, all right, this budget now is for this.
Gotcha. So the LSA you continue because that's the cost per lead.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Can't complain with that, right?
But no Yelp, so no pay per click, basically.
We haven't decided. We do a little bit of digital marketing on Yelp, landing pages and stuff like that. There is another caveat. I think the Yelp just we haven't figured out who we're going to turn it on yet because it requires, from what I know, it requires some time management and making sure you're kind of applying to messages in a timely manner. And that could be an issue at some point, especially if you're really busy in the office. So that could be almost like a job in itself, right? People answering Google reviews to answering, the group chat, the chat window that's on the website. That is like constant. So if you turn on Yelp, you kind of need something just to be on those, not doing anything else but responding to all the digital comments and even Instagram comments on Instagram. Somebody will respond to those. The inquiries from Facebook. Somebody will respond to those.
Right. So you have like one CSR who's dedicated. All those channels are open on their desktop, and they're ready to go.
Yeah,
nice.
It's a lot of work. definitely.
It is a lot of work. Well, the system's now starting to automate some of that. So
Yeah,
maybe,
it's funny because a lot of these systems, they all come out with these great systems and great ideas, but they kind of they take it to like the 75-yard line, and then they kind of like, that's it, they're done, right?
yeah,
Maybe they're great
yeah,
at the texting piece from the website, or they're great at rehash, or they're great at something else, but they have the other pieces that are kind of part of it, but they really don't do it.
not getting across the goal line there.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought up web chat because that's people, the telephone today is sort of like the fax machine, right? Not people really not wanting to call. So are you finding like a lot more text going on now? So web chat,
Oh
your
yeah.
web chat is a text feature, right? It goes to their phone. Yes.
Yep. And that's the
Yep.
funny thing about that is I even find myself, because I periodically get out there and I'll do some sales, and I'll do follow up, and you're leaving messages to them, and then after a while, you kind of go, why did you see that message? But probably not going to listen to it, you know. And then you text them, and they text you like that.
See, it's crazy, right?
Yeah, it's like, why did they even bother calling?
Yeah, yeah, it's a new world, and you can put video in your in the chat, in the text too, right? So you can send short videos uh, wherever applicable, But so you do see a big growth in the web chat and texting.
Yeah.
I didn't look on the site. Do you have like a little button besides the web chat that say "Hey, text us here" or something like that?
Yeah, I believe once, well, again, I should know this, but once you click on that, it'll ask you if that would be a good channel for communication. Again, on our website, you can leave. You don't have to be on the actual on your web browser to communicate with us. So as soon as you
Right.
start that interaction, it's basically like you're texting through a telephone number. So, if it's on the weekends or late at night, I can text you back. You don't have to worry about it. Go on about the day, and we can continue on the conversation.
Yeah, that's super important. So, and you guys are using Podium, it looked like,
Yeah,
right?
podium for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like one
Yeah.
of the features that I liked was, that's one of the things I've always hated is, I got to wait to answer this.
Yeah. Yeah. No way. That's super important. So stay away for the listeners out there, stay away from web chat that needs the lead to stay on your website.
Yeah.
Has to turn into a SMS text, goes right to their phone. And now you've also captured the lead,
Yep.
Hopefully it asks for their name, their phone, a message, you get a text, or it comes into your system either way, and notifications to your team, and they. Is there any automation to it, Al? Do they get like an automated message? Let's say they come in at like midnight.
Yep. Automated message. We're not open right now. And it kind of directs them back to our website where they can link to where they can schedule their appointment online if it's something they want to schedule.
Nice.
But
Nice.
yeah, you get you can set up your reminders and your automated messages. It also is set up through our CRM. So after the guys are done their job, automatically send out a text message for review. Does the same thing as a reminder prior to us from going out.
Yep.
Actually tell the customer when we're starting to travel to their home.
Sweet. Yeah. The tech is 10 minutes away or whatever have you.
Yep.
Here's a picture of them and so on and so forth. Yeah. Beautiful. I like that a lot. Yeah. After hour messaging is super important. But booking online. So I liked how you brought that up. So your system is trying to get them to book, on your website. Just secure a date and a time on the calendar.
Yeah.
Yes.
It kind of asks you some pertinent information, nothing crazy, nothing that it's like takes it through 10 different windows, but it asks you some information. It asks you to pick out of 3 times on a certain day that you'd like it, and the office still needs to call you to confirm that. But we're hard pressed. I can tell them to, if they pick that time, try to be hard pressed to give them that time.
Right.
Because
so you're trying not to move them off.
Yeah, because if the experience is good where they liked it, they're gonna tell their friends and family, hey, the scheduling online with so and so.
Super easy. Yeah, I like that a lot. So, any idea what percentage of jobs are being,
We'll probably get like one.
scheduled?
It's not a ton, but we'll probably get one or two a day sometimes. And they
Nice,
usually come in
sweet.
after hours.
Right,
They're not
right.
able to talk to anybody else specifically on the phone. They're not going to typically schedule that with on-call dispatching. So, because they don't have an option to kind of be on our CRM, so they'll they'll usually use that form that we have to schedule.
Nice. Well, that's great because you're capturing business. You're probably going to lose otherwise, right? I
Yeah,
mean, they're going
I
to.
mean, if I could have it
Yeah.
kind of just go right on our CRM, but that's a situation where you get these third party companies that will work really well. Like I'm trying to think of the name of one of them, but they do a really good job. But sometimes they're only integrated with one CRM, so or a couple. So it all depends. Like one of the ones that we looked at, they took it all the way to the point where we would capture everything, but then they just started putting on the CRM dispatch. So it's like,
Mm.
yeah, you kind of got me there. I wanted to marry you, but to get it.
Right. You got me into the red zone, but you couldn't cross the goal line
Yeah,
again.
and you get to that point, you're like, oh, but you see that a lot. So it's kind of like you got to pick and choose, or what CRM you're gonna want, and what one you're gonna go to.
Yeah, and make sure that they have, API, application program interface, so
Right.
so a lot of these third-party tools can connect to them.
Yeah,
So super important. Yeah. Well, we're at the sort of the base beginning of a lot of this stuff, and so fast forward 5 years, I imagine all these things will integrate together. Some of the new guys will fade away, but super important to capture those leads, get them into your CRM quickly, and get them on an appointment quickly. So that's super important. How about staying connected, Al? Too. So we did business today or last week. Your team came out to my house. We're super happy. We got the follow up. We made the review. Now, how do you stay connected to me over time
yeah.
so you
We
don't
try
lose
to
me?
do a little old school, follow up phone call from the office. If that doesn't work, a text message goes out. And then
Nice.
we're trying every quarter we're trying to go through uh, our invoices and kind of say, hey, who did we do business with? Who haven't we done business with in a while? And just start doing some automated calls or text messages to customers. Direct
Nice.
mail. Direct mail is really kind of like the blanket, right? It's the easiest way to do it. You can do a blanket direct mail just to your existing customers. You can do a T raise. You can do it to the customers you haven't done business for in a while, one message, and then the customers you constantly do business with, send them a different style message.
Yeah.
We
I
were
like it.
with Postcard Mania, so they do another thing where uh, you can set the time frame. If you land, say on the landing pages that I set for, uh, and you're there for say 20 or 30 seconds, we'll send you a post out if we can capture. Well, it's
Nice.
crazy how they can capture that information or where to send it, but they
Yeah,
figure it
it's
out.
crazy.
And they'll send you a post art. You'll be with some type of tangible offer or a coupon on it.
I like that. Postcard mania.
Yeah, I think there's several companies that do it, but
Yeah.
from referral from other guys in the industry, I went with them.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. I forget the name of the company. We have a couple of clients using something similar. So, yeah. So they pull from your IP address. Somehow they get your name,
Yep.
your mailing address. So, like 50% of the visitors, maybe. And so I like that. So you selected like what informational pages or service pages, or what are you
Yeah,
targeting
so
there?
like a career running, so it's summertime. So one of them would be if they're clicking on like the maintenance page, service agreement page, and they kind of been
Nice.
hovering on that. That'd be one of the ones that send out.
I like it. Smart. Good stuff. How about like unsold estimates? Yeah, same thing. You're going after direct mail and things like that.
The software that we're using kind of hits them about 4 times within the month.
Nice.
Reminders. Every message that goes out has a different kind of message on it. Uh, usually we'll get a response on the fourth one, which is kind of like,
See.
hey, sorry to see you go. I wish we could have done business. That kind of will capture the response of, oh, we're still thinking about it, or we're going through a finance, we're going through finance, and we're trying to secure our own financing.
Home
Usually that will
loan.
send more of a conversation than the first three. It's the last one, but it's kind of like, you're kind of cutting the umbilical cord.
Yeah, I like that. And I'm glad you said it takes like four, right? So, marketing, depending on who you listen to, 6, 7, 8 touches
Yeah.
before, they'll pick up the phone and call you. Whereas most salespeople stop after, one or two. So, 99% of people are not ready to go yet. They're, like you say, trying to get financing, trying to learn more, trying to investigate maybe a little bit more what their options are. So having great follow-up is super important. And so is it the Field Edge that does the automation for you, follow-up?
Well, that is the actual software that integrates with it. It's called HVAC Vista. So it's part of their behind the scenes items that happen. And you actually build the proposal on that, and then it kind of brings it down, as long as you're going through the dispatch work order.
Excellent. And then what, they have they can click to review their estimate again?
Yep. And then you can always expire it, right? So if you think that customer's going to go shop it around, you put it into a one-call close, you can literally go in there and activate it. So if they want to see it, they got to give you a call.
It's good for the next 10 days only. It's going to expire soon. I like it. Man, sounds like you got it all locked down now.
No, I got a lot to go, because sometimes I'm like in my peer groups and they're haunting on KPIs and stuff like that. That it just seems like second nature to them. I go, man, that's something I got to do. And that's playing out with the GM. That way I can dive a little bit more into the metrics and help drive some more business where it's kind of getting lost.
Yeah, well, there's always something to learn and dial it in a little bit more. How about we interviewed Tommy Mello a little while back.
Yeah,
he's got a 150
that must be nice one. I got to look for that.
Yeah, he's just a few episodes ago, and he just sold part of his company to private equity. But I just heard him on maybe his own podcast, I think also. He was saying how, so you mentioned B&I earlier, saying one of the things, private equity recommended that he's doing now is he's got a guy in I think he's got 32 locations. So now he's got a guy joining the B&I group in every single little one of those locations. Mm-hmm. So there's always something to dial in a little bit more. And so I brought him up because he talks a lot about, and he's a big advocate of performance pay and, making it. He just wrote a book there, Elevate.
Yep, I got it right here in front of me.
Yep.
Tom Hill's probably listening. He's like, oh man, everybody's got my book.
Right. See that? Yeah, that's good. And I was impressed. It was a great book, and it really talked about how to really build it, just like the title says, so everybody can win in it. So, did you take some out of that book?
I just literally started this book. And it was I was listening to his audio cast of his last book that I kind of keep going back to, and I had downloaded, I think, last week. I think he called it his go-to podcast, and he has just kind of like his favorites. So I'll listen to that. I try to get around to listen to podcasts, and I listen to radio, but I find myself, I'll be working out, and I'll be going for a long walk and listening to a podcast, listening to music now.
There you go.
I feel like if I can nug it here or there, it helps me.
Definitely. And there's always a nugget or so, in one of those. So yeah, Tommy's got a great podcast, Home Service Expert. Yeah. Previous book was Home Service Millionaire, I think. Alex Hormozy is another guy out there to listen to. So let's talk about that. Do you recommend 2 or 3 guys out there or gals that you listen to?
Everybody's got their favorite. I listen to the Rhino podcast, to some of them. There are some that I like, some I don't care for. The same thing with the 2 Blocks for the Prairies, right? Scorpion was the one that kind of got me into theirs. I think it was like sharpening the edge or sharpening the saw when I first started listening to podcasts. You got to kind of like start listening to like them because at first you're like, oh, I can't do this. Um, but after a while, once you get like one show that you're really intrigued on because that topic interests you, you start to look for other shows like that, and next thing another one, the real with AF, with the sellers, another one, but that's kind of more like that's more of uh, a mental state, I guess you would call it, depending on what he's talking about. So I have some favorites, and I kind of thumb through the episodes. Sometimes I listen to the same episode on and on and on.
Yeah. Yeah. Likewise. Yeah. They're not all, we us podcasters try to do our best to, serve up some good information, bring on great guests like yourself. And usually there's at least one golden nugget in there, but it may or may not apply to the listener's business. And so, how about books? Any books that you recommend out there besides Tommy's there now?
I read Weldon Long's first book. Trying to think of the title of it. What was that?
Who's the author?
Weldon Long.
Weldon Long?
Yep.
Okay.
So I his first book probably was one of the best books I read, and it was probably one of the first books I read, right?
Nice.
Kind of challenged myself at least to read a book a month, right? A few years ago because I wasn't doing much reading or listening to anything. And that's kind of what I started to do was reading and started to listen more podcasts. But I really liked Weldon Long's first book. So I think of The Upside of Fear, I think it's called.
I'm sorry?
Upside of Fear.
Upside of Fear. Wow, nice. I like the title.
It was a good book.
Upside of Fear. There's an old philosopher, Alan Watts, one of my favorite books, The Insecurity or the Wisdom of Insecurity. And I have a feeling it aligns with the upside of fear. It's like, going with the flow of what is and taking the current situation and making it work for you.
Yeah.
Right. Rather than being all pissed off that the world or whatever the situation is not the way you want it, instead use the way it is to make it work for you as best as possible. So good stuff. Let's see. So if somebody was just starting out today, Al, what advice would you give them?
Advice, right? So I think the best thing I would tell people is, go to trainings when you can. Just not to train as far as how to install things, but train your mind. So when you see these trainings going on, either be like a Service World Expo or give yourself part of a good practice group like Service Nation Alliance or an EGIA. There are many others out there. I would say also don't get bogged down into signing up for all of them because you won't have time for all of them. And it'll just be an expense to the bottom line. So figure out which one you think you'd like to try it. If it works well for you, great. If it doesn't, cancel it and move on to the next one. But try to do some type of training, go away, go to these seminars, refresh your wheels, take a couple of nuggets with you. Don't take everything that you hear and try to go back and change your business because they'll do it time after time. Just take a couple of nuggets that you think would be good and run with them and implement them. Because so many times people will go to these trainings and they have all these great ideas and you go for drinks with them and they say they're going to do this, and you see them the year after and they say they did nothing.
Yeah, it's overwhelming.
Just take one or two things that you think you can do successfully and just do those items. And then keep building on from that.
Good advice.
Yeah,
Good advice. Just one or two things to change your business tremendously.
Yeah, train. You got to train. You don't know everything.
Yeah.
You got to train.
Good. And I like to train your mind. So that's good advice too. Not just your your industry, but your attitude
Yeah.
and how you envision. What are your goals? How do you make them happen?
Yeah, you're going to be the average of the 5 people you hang out with. So if you got a lot of friends and family, it's all about head stress. They're just going to keep bringing you down. Oh,
Yeah,
half the time they're going to tell you to close up shop and go work for somebody else as soon as you start to complain because they want to do the right thing by, listen to your worries and kind of like almost like they will not egg you on to quit, but at the same time, they just kind of want to, oh, it's okay. It's okay. You
yeah.
just do it with somebody else and you'll be fine. Those other
It's
people you
probably
don't want to hang out with. You want the people to say, stop your whining, get at it, let's go.
exactly, and listening, joining um, mentor groups, like you were saying, joining industry groups. Try to surround yourself with people who are in the business or in business, different business. Yeah, probably the hardest thing is to get rid of your local group who is not supportive of you and your business. Might be the most difficult thing in life to do, actually, but vital for success. Because if people, for all kinds of reasons, they're jealous of your success, they don't understand your business. Most people are not fit out to be entrepreneurs. They don't understand what it takes, and you know, they'd rather tear you down than build you up. So, yeah, good advice. All right, Al, I'll let you close it out. So, I don't have all the greatest questions in the world. I'll let you close it out with your final thoughts.
Well, I just want to I appreciate you kind of bringing me on this podcast, my first podcast.
Oh,
So I greatly appreciate that. Worth everybody else there, listen to the podcast. I hope you liked it. Comment down in the comment section for us and help grow Mark's podcast there.
thanks. And go visit Al. Go visit Al. Speaking of Al, where can people find you online? Your company and yourself.
Yeah, you can find us at bfphpro.com. If you ever want to reach out and talk to me, you can email me at al@bfphpro.com.
Awesome. Yeah, and there'll be links in the description of both the podcast to YouTube, LinkedIn. So right to your website so people can, reach out as well. Super awesome having you on, Al. You definitely shared some great advice out there for a lot of, guys who are, no matter how big they are. So, good first podcast, man.
Yeah,
and I've been off today, so my apologies. I got an allergy kicking my ass, and my mojo's off. So my apologies for that. Way to hang through and elevate it.
Yeah.
Way to elevate it.
Yeah, I feel like Tommy Mello today. I had like a 55-minute, podcast.
There you go. All right, brother. You enjoy. Thanks for the audience for listening.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you all.
Thanks.